Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. So in today's video we're going to carry on with our colour along in Rita Berman's book My Tour Through Europe. So I'll go ahead and zoom you in and we'll get started. So the first colour that I'm going to go in with is Ultramarine Violet 040, and I'm going to make a start on the clouds in the background. So what I wanted to do was have like the darkest part up against the houses and all of these flower details, and then I'm going to make it a bit lighter as it comes out. So what I want to do is start by darkening up anywhere that I feel like would be the darkest point, so that's why I'm using this dark colour. And I'm just going to go ahead and use normal pressure for this and just fill in any parts that I feel like would be a little bit darker. So places like this down here where you've got the flowers, that would all be a bit darker, and in between here. And then what I'm going to do is lift the pressure so that we can blend the next colour in a little bit easier. So I'll just go ahead and go over where we left the darker colour and just start to lift the pressure so that we can blend this out. So next, going in with Cornflower Blue, I'm going to start adding in the next colour along. So here I'm just going to take it right up to the lantern and go ahead and mix it into the darker blue. And we'll fill in this little section here with this colour as well. And I'm just using normal pressure to take this over the darker blue and just blend it all together. I'm going to take it right up to this little light here and just darken that all up. Fill in this little bit here. And then I'm going to start to bring this colour out. So I'll just go ahead and use normal pressure and then start to lift the pressure as I come towards the edge here, because I want to be able to blend it out. So say about here, I'll just lift the pressure, and we'll do the same in here at a lighter pressure, and then all around these flowers here. And I think I'll darken up all the way around the top of this little lantern and then start to lift the pressure. And you don't want it to be in a straight line, so if you can make it a little bit curvy, that's fine. Up here, we'll go ahead and use this to darken up this top bit of the roof. And then again, we'll just lift the pressure out and we'll sort of follow this cloud shape up and round. So going back in with Ultramarine Violet, I'm going to add the darker parts to this here. So I'm going to start by going along the edge of the houses. And I think we'll just fill this whole piece in darker. And the same for this side, we'll go ahead and fill this in. We'll fill this bit in as well, and here. And then I'm going to start to lift the pressure. I'll take this up here and round this little bit as well, just to give us a little bit of difference in colour there. And then again, I'm just going to start to lift the pressure to blend this out. And I'll do the same up here, just a bit lighter pressure. We'll go back in with cornflower blue and just take it over where we left the lighter pressure and start to blend this out. So again, I'm just using normal pressure here. And then I'm just going to bring this colour up a little bit further. And we'll add some of this colour as well, just to the bottom of this little cloud here, just to break it up. So I'm just using light pressure, and then I'll just add a bit more pressure right up the edge. So now going in with our lightest shade, which is Lavender, I'm going to go ahead and go over where we added the cornflower and then just start to blend this out. And then I'm going to use this to fill in this top section of cloud completely. So I'll do the same here and just take it over the lighter pressure that we left, blend it together, and then just bring this colour up and right up to the top of the cloud. Go ahead and fill that in. Then I'm just going to go back in with cornflower blue, and I'm going to go ahead and darken up this bit here because I can still see a little bit of the paper coming through. And you can just take it over the lavender as well, it'll just blend everything out nicely. I'm going to do the same down here, just darken up our cornflower blue. Just work on that blend line a little bit more. So going back in with lavender, I'm going to fill in these parts. Then back in with cornflower blue. Just go ahead and darken up the cornflower blue in this section. Just take it over the lilac a little bit more, just to really work on that blend. Do the same here. Okay, so for this one I'm going to use cornflower blue for the shade. So I'm going to go ahead and add it right at the bottom of this cloud and underneath the sail. So I think all of this bit under the sail should be a bit darker, so I'll fill this bit in. And then again, just start to lift the pressure here to blend this cornflower out. We'll add some shade down this edge and underneath the sail. And then again, I'm just going to start to lift the pressure here just to blend this out. A bit more pressure in the middle there, make that the darkest part. And then I'll just add a little bit here and in between these sails and the sail pole. And then just a little bit up here. And just lift the pressure. Going back in with lavender, I'm going to fill in these top sections. Okay, so now going back in with Ultramarine Violet, we're going to do the darkest parts again. So I'm going to do some down here along the side of this house. And we'll follow it all the way around this one too. So just darken that up. And then we'll add some shade from the pole as well and darken up this little bit here, and then start to lift the pressure. And again here we'll start to lift the pressure. Going back in with Cornflower Blue, I'm going to make a start on going over where we left the lightest pressure of the darkest blue, so that this blends together nicely. I'm just going to bring this colour up a little bit as well. In here we'll fill in this little section. And then I'm just going to lift the pressure there so that that's a bit lighter. And then for this cloud here, I'm going to darken up this bottom section here. And we'll take it around the swirl. And then just lift the pressure so that it's easier to blend. I think we'll add a little bit up here too, just so that it's not all the lightest colour purple. Going back in with Lavender, I'm going to fill in this little section of this cloud and take it over the Cornflower Blue. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of this cloud, and at the same time take it over the Cornflower Blue. Going back in with Cornflower Blue, I'm just going to go ahead and darken up the shade that we did down this bottom piece here. Okay, so moving on to this bit, I'm going to go ahead and use Ultramarine Violet, which is our darkest shade, and I'm going to fill in these little sections that are right up against the houses because I want these to be darker. And here in between these flowers, we'll darken all of this up. So I'm just using normal pressure and just filling in these little sections. And then I'm going to add some darker colour to the bottom of these sections as well. And then start to lift the pressure about halfway up. Going back in with Cornflower Blue, I'm going to go over where we left the lighter pressure on here. I'm going to fill this bit in as well because I missed this bit. Okay. So I'm going to take this over where we left the lighter pressure and just blend it all together, and then bring this up to this next piece of rope. Go ahead and fill that all in. Okay, and sticking with cornflower blue, I'm actually going to add some shade here as well, because I feel like this would be a little bit darker. So I'm just going to take that over the lighter colour that we've already put in and just add a little bit of darkness to that. That looks a little bit better. Okay, so moving back to this section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use normal pressure and go ahead and darken up all the way along this line and just around these flowers. I'll take it just around this edge as well, and then I'm going to start to lift the pressure here so that we can blend this out. I'm actually going to darken up all of this bit under here so that this bit will all be a bit darker. So I'll just use normal pressure and fill that in. And then I'm going to add a line of shade behind this cloud here. So again, I'll just use normal pressure and mark out where I want it to be. And then lift the pressure to blend this out. We'll add a little bit of shade under this cloud here too, and then go ahead and lift the pressure. Going back in with lavender, I'm going to go ahead and fill in what's left of the cloud and take it over the cornflower blue and just blend everything together nicely. Okay guys, so that's how the sky is looking. So we're going to move on to the sea. So for this I've picked Cerulean Blue Middle. This is going to be our lightest colour. So I'm going to go ahead and place it where I want the lightest colour to be. I'm just going to use light pressure for now so that I can always go back and change it if I need to. But I think like here where we've got the water breaking, I want that to be like the lightest parts. So I'm going to fill all of these little water breaks in with this lightest colour, and like I said, I'm just using light pressure for now just so that we can get an idea of where we want this colour to be. So I'm going to add it to the top curve here. Okay, so next going in with Intense Blue. This is our medium colour, so not quite the darkest. I'm going to go ahead and add this in where I want sort of medium to dark colours. So I think along the boat here would be a little bit darker but not too dark. So I'm going to go ahead and do that colour there. Again, I'm just using light pressure so that I can mark this out and see how it's looking. Then taking Cyprus Green, I'm going to add some greeny dark colour into this. So I really want to focus this on the places that I want to be the darkest. So I'm going to do the middle here, and I'm just using normal pressure for this because this is the darkest colour. And just sort of start to take that round the little swirl and then lift the pressure off. I'm going to add some shade in here by the fish. And then again, lift the pressure. And then I'm going to go ahead and darken up the center of these little swirls because I feel like they would be a little bit darker. And just lift the pressure as you come out. Okay, so going back in with Intense Blue, I'm going to make a start on going over where we added the darkest colour and blending that out. So I'm just going to use normal pressure, take it over the darker colour and then start to bring the colour out into the picture. Here I'm just filling in where we added this colour before, so just taking it over and darkening it all up a little bit. And then I'm just going to lift the pressure around this edge just so that when we put the lighter colour down it'll blend a little bit easier. Then going in with Cerulean Blue Middle, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this little gap here. And just join that up. And then we'll go ahead and fill in our lightest parts. So going back in with Intense Blue, I'm going to carry on darkening up around this shadow here and adding this colour in. Just bringing it a little bit further out, and again I'm just using normal pressure for this. This section here I'm going to fill in with this darker colour because I want underneath here to look a little bit darker. Here we'll darken this up. And then what I'm going to do is lift the pressure here and here and here. Then going in with cerulean blue middle, I'm going to fill in the lightest parts. Back in with intense blue. I'm going to darken this up. And again, lift the pressure. And then back in with cerulean blue middle and fill in this bottom piece here. Okay, so I'm going to continue with cerulean blue middle, and I'm going to go over the lightest parts that we left and just start to darken these up first. So we'll do all these little splashes. Then going in with intense blue, I'm going to darken up where we left this colour. Then I'm going to go back in with cerulean blue middle, our lightest shade. I'm going to make this one in the middle here a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to take this over the blend lines and go ahead and add some lighter colour in here too. Taking Cyprus Green, our darkest colour, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this back piece here because I feel like this would be a little bit darker. And then a little bit in the middle here. Then back in with cerulean blue middle, and I'm going to fill in the rest of this little piece. So using intense blue, I'm going to darken up the front parts of these and go ahead and join this line in. And then cerulean blue middle to fill in the very edge pieces. And I'm going to use this to fill in this bit here too. So I'm just going to do like a little curved motion so that it's not a straight line. And then I'm going to make this a curved one as well because I don't want it to be a straight line. Then taking Cyprus Green, I'm going to add that into here because I feel like, again, this would be a little bit darker. And then taking Intense Blue, I'm going to go ahead and blend that out and sort of round it off. Join it to the bottom there. So next, taking Azalea Pink, I'm going to make a start on these fish. So I'm going to do a nice base coat with this colour so that we've got a light base colour to work with. I wanted to do them pink so that they match the decorations that we did on the houses and the boat and just sort of pull all of the picture together. Then taking Juniper Pink, I'm going to add some shade to these. So I'm going to first start by darkening up their little fins on the top and bottom. Just use normal pressure for this bit, just to darken them up. And then I want to add a little bit of shade to their tails. And then I'm going to leave a lighter part at the end. I'll do the same for this one. And then I think we'll do the same where their head joins. Add a little bit of shade there. Then going back in with Azalea Pink, I'm going to go ahead and fill in where we left the lighter colour and just blend these two colours together. Next, taking Purple Lake Deep, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the, I think this is like a steering wheel, but it could be part of the boat's edge, I'm not sure. So I want to make this darker, so I'm going to use this to fill it in, and I'm just going to use normal pressure. Then taking Lavender Light, I'm going to fill in the inside parts of this so that it matches the houses in the background. Then taking our black pencil, I'm going to add some shade. So I'm going to shade here on the two edges where it joins the boat. So I'll do the top and the bottom, and then we'll add a shade here where it joins to this pole. Oops. And then I'll add a little bit of shade to the bottom of each of these little sticks. Okay guys, so that's how it's looking at the moment. So I'm going to go in with my Posca pen and add some highlights to this. Okay, so I'm going to add one to the seagull just on this side here. Might not be able to see it. Then I'm going to do a little bit of highlight just on the edge of these little circles. Then with the sea, what I'm going to do is just go over where it sort of joins to the boat and would sort of break into like a wave. So I'm just going to do it in little wiggly lines so that we don't get any straight lines, because it wouldn't be straight if it was crashing up onto the boat. And then I'm just going to run it along here as well. And then I'm going to do the same for these edges here. So I'm just going to take it over the edge and then sort of around where we left the lightest colour, where the waves are breaking. We'll take it around the edge here too, and just go over these lines in the lightest part. And then we'll add some up here. And then I'm just going to add a little highlight to each of these fish. So I'm just going to do a line across its back where we left the lightest colour. Okay guys, so that's how this picture came out. I hope you've enjoyed this colour along. If you have, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.